Boosie Badass just got slammed with 10 years, and Charleston White's already out here clowning him like it's personal. This ain't just beef, it's straight chaos in the game.
Going to jail! Oh, God is good. I keep telling y'all, street got no God. God do not look after street. Boosie really thought he wasn't going to jail for that pistol. I knew he was going. I just was waiting.
This case has stopped me from traveling all across the world making. So I just want to get it over with, and, you know, accept my guilty plea. I'm ready to get over it.
Anything you want to say to your fans?
Just say a prayer for me. I just need prayer.
Man, the streets are talking crazy right now. Boosie Badass, the same dude who always spoke his mind no matter who didn't like it, just got hit with a 10-year sentence, and people can't stop buzzing about it. It's wild how fast the tables turn, because just a few months ago, Boosie was outside doing interviews, living loud, moving with that old school Southern confidence, acting like he was untouchable. But now, the system came knocking hard, and the way it's looking, he might be sitting down for a long stretch. And while fans are still processing the news, Charleston White wasted no time, not a single second, before jumping on social media to drag Boosie like he'd been waiting on this moment forever.
Going to jail! Oh, God is good. I keep telling y'all, street got no God. God do not look after street. Boosie really thought he wasn't going to jail for that pistol. I knew he was going. I just was waiting.
See, this drama didn't come out of nowhere. Boosie and Charleston been at each other's throats for a minute. Charleston, known for running his mouth and stirring the pot, always got something slick to say about every rapper, but when it comes to Boosie, it's like he got a personal mission. He's been calling him out for years, saying he's a bad influence, saying he glorifies street life and keeps acting like a gangster, even though the world changed. So when the news dropped that Boosie was facing time, Charleston didn't just react. He celebrated. He went online laughing, saying things like, "That's what happens when you play tough for too long, and the streets don't love nobody."
But it didn't stop there.
They going to jail. All that newborn baby. Won't get the Boosie won't get to see that newborn baby till that baby be walking and talking. Boosie going to jail.
It was like he'd been waiting to throw that shade for years, and now the timing was perfect for him to make it sting. But let's rewind for a sec. This ain't Boosie's first rodeo with the law. The man's been in and out of headlines since his Baton Rouge come-up days. Boosie's name been attached to controversy since forever, and that's what made people love him just as much as they feared him. He came up talking that real life, that pain, that Southern struggle, and that authenticity kept him relevant even when the industry tried to silence him. But this time, this hit different. Reports say Boosie's situation came from a federal gun case that spiraled way worse than he expected. One slip, one wrong move, and now he's facing years behind bars again.
Charleston White was celebrating you taking the plea deal. I think he even said he hopes you die in jail and stuff like that.
Yeah, I heard.
The biggest thing right now was that you actually accepted a plea deal for your federal gun case.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been fighting this thing from the very, very beginning?
I've been fighting for probably 3 years now, probably.
Brought you up because you were attacking Kanye because of the...
Nah, guess Kanye West, it just happened. Nigga been coming at me. He been coming at me, it's just, you know, I can't respond to those people, bro. Like, that's a danger to what I got going on. Can't take no risk of losing this.
Now Charleston White, that man's a whole different kind of problem. He don't rap, he don't hustle, he don't even pretend to be in the streets, but he thrives off calling out people who do. And that's what got the internet lit. He called Boosie out like, "You been talking all that real one talk, but the feds still got you. How real is that?" You could practically hear the sarcasm dripping off every word. Charleston made it his mission to drag Boosie's name, saying he's proof that talking tough don't save you from consequences. And even though folks hate Charleston's mouth, you can't lie. The man knows how to get attention. He turned Boosie's downfall into his stage, and millions tuned in to watch him clown. The craziest part, some fans low-key agreed with Charleston this time. They said Boosie should have laid low, stopped inviting heat, and stayed focused on the bag. Because every time Boosie opens his mouth, controversy follows. Remember when he went off on Lil Nas X, or when he called out other rappers for not being real enough? Boosie always been loud with his opinions, but that same energy is what the system used to paint him like a villain. They see a man talking wild and figure he must be dangerous. That's how quick they twist your words against you. Still, you can't talk about Boosie without respecting what he's done for Southern rap culture. The man's been a symbol of independence and raw storytelling. From Set It Off to Mind of a Maniac, he told real stories of pain and survival, not industry-made fairy tales. But that same authenticity kept him tied to a world that never lets go. The streets loved him for being real, but the law kept watching, waiting for him to slip. And when they finally got him, Charleston White was right there front row, grinning like it was a comedy show. But Charleston ain't all jokes. His message under all that disrespect hits deep sometimes. He's been saying rappers like Boosie glamorize pain, act like prison's a badge of honor, and keep young kids caught in cycles they'll never escape. He said straight up, Boosie's been free for years, but his mind's still locked up. That line hit hard. Cause love him or hate him, Boosie never changed his approach. He stayed that same raw, unfiltered dude who didn't care what anybody thought. But in today's world, that same attitude can cost you your freedom faster than ever. Now the internet split right down the middle. Some say Charleston went too far, that you don't celebrate another man's downfall, no matter what beef y'all had. Others say he's speaking truth that Boosie needed to hear years ago. One thing's for sure, this story got everyone talking. Hip-hop blogs, YouTube commentators, and even old school fans are arguing about who's right, who's wrong, and who's next. Because if Boosie's situation proves anything, it's that the system don't play favorites. They'll smile in your face and still throw the book at you once they see you as a threat. And that's exactly what Charleston White been preaching. He's been warning rappers for years that the real act don't end well, that the law is waiting on rappers to make one mistake. But Boosie never listened, and now Charleston's words feel like prophecy. Still, even with all the hate, Boosie got an army of fans riding for him. They say he's being targeted, that the system wants to break another black man with influence. The truth might be somewhere in the middle, but either way, the fire has been lit, and this is just the beginning of the chaos that's about to unfold. When the news about Boosie's 10-year sentence hit the internet, it was like dropping gasoline on a fire. Chaos everywhere. Fans were shocked, the streets were talking, and every gossip page on social media had Boosie's name plastered at the top. Some folks refused to believe it, thinking maybe it was clickbait, while others said they saw it coming from a mile away. Either way, it became the story everybody wanted to weigh in on, and right in the middle of all that noise stood Charleston White, loud, grinning, and ready to let loose. Charleston went live immediately, talking wild like only he can. He said, Boosie been out here talking reckless, disrespecting the law, thinking he bigger than the system. Now look at him. You could hear the satisfaction in his voice. He didn't even try to hide it. Charleston's not the type to hold back. He takes pride in calling out rappers and watching them squirm. He said he's been warning these dudes that their gangster image ain't gonna save them, that the same streets they brag about will turn their back when the cuffs come out. And honestly, some of that hit hard. The internet started dissecting Charleston's words like he was some kind of prophet. Clips of his rants spread like wildfire, getting millions of views. Some people were laughing, calling it karma for Boosie's tough talk. Others said Charleston was being heartless, celebrating another man's pain. But Charleston don't care what side you on. He thrives off chaos. He said, y'all love these rappers until the police come. Then everybody acts surprised like they didn't see it coming. And he's not wrong. A lot of rappers been caught up lately, and Charleston been using every one of their downfalls as an example. What makes Charleston's reaction sting more is that he and Boosie been going at it for years. They got history. Charleston once called Boosie's parenting a failure, bringing up his son's behavior online. He said Boosie was raising another street menace. That line caused waves back then, and now with Boosie's case, Charleston's doubling down. He said, how a man gonna raise another man right when he's still playing with the same demons he rapped about 20 years ago? It's disrespectful, yeah, but that's Charleston White's whole brand. He takes low blows and turns them into viral moments, but deep down, this beef is about more than words. It's about philosophy. Charleston represents the man who walked away from street life and turned his back on the culture that glorified violence. Boosie, on the other hand, represents the street legend who never switched up, who stayed solid through everything, even when it cost him. Charleston sees that as foolish. Boosie sees it as loyalty. And that's why their clash hits different. It's not just two men arguing, it's two worlds colliding. Meanwhile, fans are split right down the middle. On one hand, you got folks saying Boosie should have known better, that he's been around long enough to understand the feds don't play fair. They say he brought this on himself by constantly taunting the system and posting online like he was invincible. On the other hand, There's the loyal Boosie supporters who swear this is another example of the system targeting outspoken black men. They say Boosie never got a fair shot, and that every time he starts speaking on real issues, trouble magically finds him. It's a debate that got social media on fire, with people posting threads, podcasts, and even rap freestyles about it. Then there's the industry side. Other rappers started reacting too. Some sent love saying free Boosie in their posts. Others stayed quiet, not wanting to get caught up in drama. But Charleston noticed that silence and he used it as more ammo. He said, ain't nobody really riding for Boosie like that. They just posting for clout. And to be real, there's some truth in that too. In this industry, loyalty is temporary and attention is currency. Once the headlines fade, only a few people will still be talking about him. Still, you can't deny Boosie's impact. He's one of the few rappers who's never sold out his image, never toned down his opinions for fame. He stood on what he believed, even when it made him enemies. But that same authenticity that made him loved also kept him in trouble. Charleston called that out too, saying, Boosie been addicted to being real. That's why he can't play the game smart. It sounds harsh, but in this industry, sometimes being too real really does cost you. And the timing of it all makes it even wilder. Boosie had just been on interviews talking about staying focused, dropping new music, and making business moves. People thought he was turning a new leaf. Then boom, this case hits, and all that progress feels like it got erased overnight. The system don't care how much you change. They remember your past. Charleston reminded everyone of that in his rant too. He said, they let him walk around free just long enough to trip himself up. That line hit different because it shows how fast success can vanish when you're living under a spotlight that never dims. But through all this, one thing's clear. Boosie's story ain't over. He's been through worse before and always found a way back. The streets love a comeback, and if there's one thing Boosie's known for, it's surviving storms that were supposed to end him. Still, this one might be his toughest test yet. 10 years is no small number. And even if appeals come through, the damage is already done to his name, his image, and his family. But knowing Boosie, he won't let that stop his voice. Even behind bars, he's the type to turn pain into power. And if he ever gets the chance to respond to Charleston White, oh, that moment's gonna break the internet. After Charleston White's videos went viral, it wasn't just about him clowning Boosie anymore. It turned into a whole movement. Every podcast, blog, and YouTube channel started debating what this situation really meant for hip-hop. People weren't just talking about Boosie's sentence. They were talking about what it represents, the fall of another real one in a game that keeps eating its own. Some said it's a wake-up call for rappers still living that street life, while others said it's proof that the system don't want to see strong black voices standing tall. Either way, Boosie's name was ringing louder than ever, but not for the reasons he wanted. Charleston White, though, that man turned the moment into a victory lap. He started doing interviews, repeating the same message. I told y'all the streets don't pay off. He said rappers like Boosie keep falling because they never evolve. You can't outsmart the feds while still acting like you in the trap, he shouted during one live stream. His fans ate it up. They see Charleston as the one man willing to say what others won't, even if his delivery cuts deep. But let's keep it real. Charleston ain't preaching out of love. He enjoys the spotlight, the views, the chaos. He knows every time he mentions Boosie's name, the internet lights up and he rides that wave like a pro. Still, Charleston's rants opened up a bigger conversation about what happens when rappers can't separate the art from the lifestyle. For years, Boosie made music that reflected the pain of the streets, but he also carried that energy into real life. To his fans, that made him authentic, but to law enforcement, it made him a target. They see that same energy as a threat, not culture, and that's the ugly truth. The same image that feeds your career can also destroy it. Charleston pointed that out in his messy way, but it's a reality Boosie now has to face head on. Meanwhile, fans started posting old clips of Boosie talking about staying free, staying focused, and not trusting the system. The irony hit hard. It's like everything he warned about came right back for him. Some fans were heartbroken, others just disappointed. They wanted Boosie to win, to outgrow the street politics and show that survival don't always end behind bars. But with this case, it feels like another dream snatched away, and that pain spread across the culture. Because Boosie's story ain't just about one man. It's about a generation that keeps watching their heroes get trapped by the same system they fought to escape. The craziest part, Charleston White used that pain to fuel his own message. He started saying things like, "See, I ain't against Boosie the man. I'm against what he stands for." That line went viral, even though people knew he was still trolling. He said he wants to break the curse of street mentality, but at the same time, he mocks the very people he claims he's trying to save. It's twisted, but it works. His name stays trending, and his clips keep spreading. He even started bragging about how rappers call him out but can't touch him, saying, "I'm winning from my laptop while y'all losing to the feds." That kind of talk got the internet going crazy, but behind all the noise, there's something deeper. The way this whole situation exposes how quick fame can flip. One week you're loved, the next you're headlines for the wrong reasons. Boosie's empire was built on resilience, on being the voice of the struggle. But now, every move he made is being replayed, analyzed, and twisted online. Some people say this is karma, others say it's a setup. Either way, Boosie's facing one of the hardest chapters in his life. And Charleston White, he's sitting front row narrating the downfall like it's entertainment. The media's been eating this story alive too. Every outlet's twisting it their own way. Some calling Boosie a legend, falling victim to the system. Others painting him like he brought it all on himself. But regardless of the angle, his name stays hot. Even behind bars, Boosie got the power to trend. That's the mark of a real cultural figure. Even when he's down, people still can't stop talking about him. But this moment also shows how divided hip-hop has become. Half the game still celebrates the real ones, while the other half just wants peace, business, and brand deals. Boosie stands on one side, Charleston on the other, and in between is a generation trying to decide what being real even means anymore. Now fans are waiting to see how Boosie handles this next chapter. He's beaten the odds before. From old cases to industry blackouts, he always finds a way to bounce back. And if there's one thing we know about him, it's that his voice won't stay quiet for long. Even if he gotta speak from behind walls, you can bet he's gonna let the world know his truth. Some insiders say Boosie's already planning to drop statements, maybe even new music from inside. That would be legendary. Because if he can turn this setback into another comeback, it'll remind everyone why his name still carries weight. Charleston White might think he won this round, but he better not get too comfortable. The same crowd cheering for him now could turn on him tomorrow. The internet loves drama, but it loves redemption even more. And when Boosie gets his chance to tell his side, to expose what really went down, that story's gonna break the internet all over again. This feud ain't just a headline, it's a full-blown cultural moment. Boosie versus Charleston White isn't just rapper versus critic, it's old school street code versus new school internet talk. It's the heart of hip-hop clashing with the age of viral fame. And no matter how it plays out, one thing's guaranteed. The world's gonna keep watching, because both these men know how to keep the spotlight burning.